So as you know, in the corporate finance course, that you only study one valuation model, that is the constant growth model or golden growth model. Okay, and remember, one assumption of that model is the dividend of that company had to grow at a constant rate forever. Yeah. Okay, look at this. So if G is constant, yeah, and it continue forever. Yeah. So what does that mean? It means if we have D0 today, yeah, we can always able to calculate the dividend at any point in the future. Yeah. So suppose that we have D0, yeah, and we have the growth rate, then we have D1. D1 will be equal to D0 multiplied for 1 plus growth rate. And if you have D1, you can calculate D2 equal to D1 multiplied for 1 plus growth rate, yeah, and so on. Okay, so we had D1 here, D2 here, and D3 here, and so on. And the golden model, after some transformation, some mathematical transformation, we come up with one beautiful and powerful equation. Yes, that is D0, 1 plus G power R, subtract for growth rate, or equal to D1 over R, subtract for growth rate. Yeah, so this is constant growth model or golden growth model, and you remember, one important assumption of this model is the dividend of that company had to grow at a constant rate forever. And if your company doesn't meet that assumption, you cannot apply this model for the company, right? Okay, and when I mean constant growth rate, it doesn't mean the company had to grow at a fixed percentage rate over year. For example, if it's grow 5% this year, it had to grow essentially 5% next year, and the 5% for the year after next year. It doesn't mean like that. It's a loose definition, yeah, of a constant growth rate. And as long as the company grow within a range, I mean, for example, if you assume that the company grow at 5% per year, the next year it is grow at 6% per year, it is still considered to be constant. Yeah. So you take, plus or subtract 1 to 2% apart from your constant growth rate. Within that range, we consider that a constant growth rate. Okay? So remember that important assumption. And please read more in textbook that what kind of company is the ideal candidates for the model, for the constant growth rate model. I give you one example that, okay, for example, the company who provide utility like electricity company, water company, yeah, the company they hardly grow at, okay, they are considered to be stable because, okay, at water, electricity are essential goods in the economy, and though essential goods are usually regulated by the government, yeah, so the company will fight hard to increase the price of the product they provide, yeah, because it authorized, maybe authorized by the government, yes, and the company are expected to grow at a constant percent, a constant growth rate, or the company who are already mature, yeah, the company already too big, yes, so it's very hard for the company to have, an extreme growth rate like 10%, 12%, or even more. So please read the textbook just to find out if your company have, characteristic that maybe the good candidate for the golden crow model. Okay, so what if your company the company of your choice is not suitable with the Golden Crow model. What can we do? Then I give you another solution that company will experience multiple growth period. Yeah, so we have multiple stage of growth. Okay. Okay, look at this. So I assume that any company, yeah, growth period have this kind of characteristic. Okay, this is the vertical line for the growth rate and the horizontal axis for t time. Okay, so for any company, they usually follow a common path, a common road. Like okay, at the beginning, when they start the company, they grow at a very high growth rate. Yeah, and after a while, they achieve you know a size. The size had increased over year, and after a while, when the size is you know big enough, when the market is mature, again the market share, the power, then the growth rate becomes slow down. Yeah, becomes slow down. So it becomes uh, flatter. Yeah, the curve becomes flatter, and then at some point the company achieved the high growth rate, and then it cannot maintain that high growth rate anymore. You know, no company can maintain the high growth rate forever. So at some point in the future, they slow down. The growth rate is slow down, or they slow down the business. It doesn't mean that they shrink the business. No, the business is still growing, but the growth rate is slower. Yeah. Okay, the slower. Okay, what I'm drawing is the growth rate, not the size of the company, huh? Okay, and then after a while they achieve, a stable period, so the growth rate becomes stable like this. Yeah. Okay, I may extend my this horizontal axis a little bit longer. Yeah. So this is the constant growth rate. So in Euro, I will name the period of high growth rate. I say unstable period. Yeah, I name unstable after the growth rate. Okay, and this one is stable growth rate period. Stable period. Yeah, stable period means they grow at a constant growth rate. Yeah, and on stable period they had different growth rate. Every year they had different growth rate. Okay, and I suppose that okay, for example, just for example, it depends on the real situation of the company of your choice. That the unstable period can be 10 years, 15 years, whatever. Yeah, here in this example, I made it simple. Okay, 4 years. Yeah, one, two, three, four. So after year four, yeah, they start growing stable. At the end of year four, yeah, they start growing constant or stable. Okay, and of course, maybe I suppose that I assume that in year one they pay dividend one, and year two dividend two, year three dividend three, so far. And no, now here, and this is dividend 5. Yeah, okay. And the question is we have to find the present value of this stock, right? Yeah. So remember the principle of doing valuation. You find the present value of any assets that generate the future cash flow. One common principle is you discount all the cash flow, all the future cash flow to where you want. Where you want is now, present, at zero. Okay? That's the principle. Yeah? So I discount them to present. by the discount rate R. And let's look at the period where they begin a stable growth rate, because this period they had the stable growth rate. So you remember the golden crow model, yeah, that we assume in that company in that period they grow at a constant percent and forever. This one continue forever, yeah. So I can apply this period, the golden model, okay, the golden crow model. And the golden crow model, how do we write that? You see this one, the golden crow model, yeah. And in this model, D1 is the next dividend. So this company start growing stably at year 4, by the end of year 4 or the beginning of year 5. So D1 should be D5, yeah, D5. And get over R, yeah, subtract for G. And remember, this G is the constant. It's constant G. Yeah, it's different from the growth rate in the unstable period. Okay? And wait, this value is the value of this period, until forever. But we are here, so we had to discount them. We had to bring this period, yeah, back to present. So we had to divide them by 1 plus R power how many years? 4. From here to 0, year 4 to 0. Okay, and now the question is, how can we find the inputs for the model? For example, how can we define R, the discount rate? How can we find the future dividend? Or how can we know what is the growth rate of the company per each period? Okay, let's work one on one. First of all, the dividend. Yeah. Okay, if the company doesn't pay dividend, then you have to let that year is 0. Yeah. So, first of all, you have to read the balance, the financial information of the company. Yeah, especially, please pay note to the explanatory note. And you can also read the annual report of the company or any plan of the company that the company have plan for the next year, for the next few years, or any read all the information available for the company. Yeah, find on internet, and maybe the company will talk about the future. Yeah, and based on the the plan, if the company they plan to grow, continue grow at a high growth rate in the future, then it is more likely that the company will not pay dividend. Okay, so when they don't pay dividend, they blow back all the profit to the company and to reinvest in the company. Yeah, and of course, at some point in the future, they had to pay dividend. They cannot flow back the profit all the time, right? And yeah, after a high growth period, they will enter a stable period where they start paying dividend. Yeah, that's how the company, the projected growth of the company. So for dividend, please look at all the read the plan of the company. Yeah, you also read the explanatory note of the company. Explanatory note of the company. You also look at the payout history. Yeah. So the payout history of the company can reveal some important information about the dividend policy of the company. Yeah. If the company they pay a larger dividend, if that company they withhold all the profit at the company to reinvest. Yeah. So look at the payout history. I mean the payout policy. Okay. Payout policy. Okay. Yeah. And then how about the growth rate? Again, the growth rate of the company, you had to read the plans of the company, all the financial information about the company. If the company they have planned to expand the business, then you cannot assume that they enter the stable period. Yeah, you had is uh, reasonable, plausible to assume that the company they grow at an unstable, a high growth rate within the next few years because they plan to expand the business. Yeah, but if they don't have a big plan, then and they try to maintain the growth rate, then you can expect the company they are entering the mature period. Okay, but if that company is still small, then you assume that the company they enter a mature period, then that is impossible, right? Because the small company they want to grow big. Yeah, so they had to expand for many years after before they enter the stable period. Yeah, so please read all the plans of the company to see to have the expectation. Yeah, and also look at the history of the company. Yeah, the history growth growth rate. And okay, historic growth rate sometimes is revenue. You look at the revenue. If it grow, you look at the profit of the company. If it's grow, what is the growth rate of revenue or profit? Yeah, to see if the company they are in it gives you some idea about which period maybe the company are in. Okay, and the one important formula that you can determine growth rate is the growth rate is equal to P multiplied for ROE. So you know ROE. And B is blowback ratio, tỷ lệ lợi nhuận giữ lại, blowback ratio. And blowback ratio is equal to 1 subtract for payout, yeah, payout ratio. Payout ratio là tỷ lệ chi trả cổ tức. Okay. Okay, that is the growth rate. Yeah. And how about the discount rate R? Okay, in order to find R, we usually have two approach. Either you come up with well, usually many approach, but I recommend you to use one approach, that is the approach using capital assets pricing model, because CAPM. Yeah, according to CAPM, the discount rate, or the rate of return of a stock I equal to RF, yeah, plus beta multiplied for Rn subtracted for Rf. Okay, I will explain you one by one. So Rf is the risk-free rate. Yeah. Okay, for risk-free rate, you can take a 10-year government bond. Yeah, 10-year government bond of Vietnam. Usually, it had to match the study period. Yeah, or the invested period. Okay. And for beta, you can take it, you can calculate yourself, or buy beta on KFF or Vietstock. Yeah, they compute the beta themselves. But you can also compute beta yourself. I recommend you to take a look on YouTube. There are many videos teach you how to calculate beta. Yeah, using the stock price. It's simple, not complex. Yeah. And I tell you why, because beta you have on cafe or big stock is current beta, and we are in 2025. But in your crop project, the data you have is from 2019 to 2023. Yeah, so it means you are at the end of 2023 or at the beginning of 2024. That's where I assume that you are. Yeah. So the beta at that year maybe not the same as the current beta we have. So I recommend you calculate beta yourself. But if you are unable to do so, I also accept that you take the current beta in your model. Okay. And for RM is the the market return. The market return. You can calculate, yeah, using the VN index. Yeah, you can using this, or you can the whole RM and RF. We call this one equity risk premium. Yeah, and I recommend you to do so. Equity risk premium, and you take equity. You go to Damodaran online. Yeah, Damodaran online. This is a professor in finance of New York School of Business. He's had a website where he computes the equity risk premium for many countries, including Vietnam. Yeah, so I recommend you to take that equity risk premium. And I will tell you why. Because the period 2019 to 2023, if you calculate the market return yourself from VN index, it can generate a negative equity risk premium, and that will make your model doesn't work. Your model give a real result. Yeah. So I recommend you to follow this. Yeah. Okay. And that's all for today. If you have any question, don't hesitate to ask me.